Chapter 18. As they drank mint tea, Imogen told the prince about her journey through the Haberdash Gardens. She didn't mention the shadow moth. She didn't feel like sharing all of her story with Merrill and his sister. Not just yet. Mary kept interrupting, but she got things mixed up, so Imogen had to tell her to be quiet. When Imogen got to the part about the door in the tree, Mary piped up again. She made it sound as though she had helped find it. Imogen lost no time putting things straight. Mary just followed me. She's always copying my ideas. I'm not. Are too. I want to hear the rest of the story, said Merrill. So Imogen kept going. She finished at the moment when she and Mary entered the city. The prince asked, "What about the bit where I rescued you? You haven't told that part." "Well, you know what happened then. I don't need to tell you," said Imogen. "I should like to hear it all the same." "Don't be ridiculous. I'm not telling you a story about yourself." "I am a prince, and I want to hear it." Imogen rolled her eyes. "Fine. Mary, you can tell this bit." Mary finished the story, telling it with too many frilly words and too favorable a portrayal of the prince. "Anyway," cut in Imogen, "the point is, we need to get home." Two pairs of eyes turned to Merrill. "I have to admit," he said, "I've never heard of this Garden Kingdom or the queen who rules it." "She's not a queen," said Imogen. "She's just Mrs. Haberdash." "I've certainly never heard of anyone putting a door in a tree. The people where you come from must be very odd." "Are you going to help us get home?" said Imogen. "Because if you're not, we might as well leave now." She pushed back her chair to show she meant business. "Right after we finished pudding," added Mary. Merrill started fiddling with his rings. Tonight, he had several stacked on his index fingers and a big one on each thumb. "I thought I was doing you a favor," he muttered. "I rescued you from the Skrit, and I let you stay for dinner, even though you are peasants." "Stop turning your rings," said Imogen. "It's driving me mad. We're not peasants, and I'm sure we can find the door on our own if we have to. I just thought, what with you being a prince and all, you'd be able to do something. I thought you'd at least have a servant who could make the door open. It's not as if we're asking you to slay a dragon." That hit the mark. The prince's face flushed. "My ancestors killed the kingdom's last dragon." "That's a shame," said Imogen. Silence. "Okay," said the boy. "I'll help you. In fact, I'll make a pact." He rummaged through an old chest and pulled out a dagger. Mary gave a squeak. "Don't worry," said Merrill. "I only need 1 drop." "1 drop of what?" said Mary. "Your blood, of course." "My blood?" "Not just yours. Everyone has to give a bit. That's how we seal a pact." "Can't we just shake hands?" said Imogen. "Or cross our hearts?" said Mary. "I go first," said Merrill. The 3 children stood together underneath the old clock with a sleeping face. Merrill held up his left thumb for the girls to see, like a magician about to do a trick. In his right hand, the blade glinted. He touched the soft pad of his thumb with the tip. "I promise to do everything within my powers to help these 2 peasants, Imogen and Mary, to help Imogen and Mary get home." He looked at them, seeking approval. Imogen nodded. The blade was sharp. A little pressure, and it pierced his skin, bringing up a ruby-red drop of blood. He turned to hide his face, but it was too late. Imogen had seen him wince. He held out the dagger. Now, you. What am I supposed to be promising? She asked. To be my loyal subject, said Miro. Imogen didn't take the dagger. Loyal subject? What does that even mean? You know, when you go where I go, have dinner with me and things. What things? She demanded. Go fishing, play in the gardens, whatever I fancy, said the prince. Imogen snorted. You mean be your friends? You wanted us to promise to be your friends. Call it what you will. You must be joking, she said, but the prince's expression was deadly serious. She offered her the dagger again. Just until we go home, she said. You know we're not staying long. Oh, yes, said the prince, just until you go home. Imogen took the dagger. This is absurd. She placed the blade on her thumb. Okay, I promise to hang around with Miro to be his loyal friend just until we go home. Great, now do the I know. Imogen pricked her skin and passed the dagger to Mary. I won't do that, said Mary. You will too, said Imogen. Why? Why should I have to? Because, Mary, if you don't do that, you haven't earned your ticket home. It doesn't need two of us, does it? Said Mary, and she turned to Miro with a pleading expression. One of you is probably enough, said the prince. Oh, stop being such a baby, said Imogen, and she grabbed Mary's wrist. Repeat after me. I promise. Imogen, cried Mary. Don't wriggle. I only need drawing a bit of blood, not cutting off your hand. You're hurting me. Come on, said Miro. I think two of us is enough. Oh, fine, be a baby. Imogen released Mary's wrist. Imogen and Miro pressed their thumbs together. That's it, said Miro. The pact is sealed. As they stepped apart, the clock behind them sprang into motion. The hands spun, cogs whizzed, and mechanical stars flew about. It was going too fast, chiming for midnight, then midday, skipping through days in seconds. Suddenly, it all stopped. Or rather, it started behaving like a normal clock. The hands ticked along as if they had never been doing anything different. This time, as the clock reached midnight, the little hatch opened and the carving of two girls trundled out. The smaller one had long wavy hair in a ponytail. The taller one had short straight hair. The miniature girls curtsied, turned a full circle, and went back into the clock. The hatch closed behind them.